Hi guys, and this is Alex, and welcome to another video. And today we are going to be going over a touchy subject, and that subject is fat people. Okay, now fat people are very, very cool people, or they used to be in media. Um, you know, back in the day, I guess you could say fat people added a lot to society, right? A lot of time, fat people were very, very kind. They're very, very funny. Um, and that's changed a lot, right? They used to, add a lot to society, right? Bring a large thing to society in, right, the eye of the common people, right? You always had that fat friend that was very, very funny, or and they always, they weren't like extremely fat or obese. They were just like a little bit chubby, a little bit chunky, and they were, funny and shit. And they were, whether or not they were trying to get fit or not trying to get fit, they were always a cool person, right? Um, and they always worked those hard jobs, the construction worker, the chef, um, the um, the truck drivers, right? Heavy material movers, all those like really, really good job. But now it's changed. In the media, in the eye of the common person, now all they do is eat and collect disability because they can't walk because of their immense size, and they post TikToks. That's their form of income disability, and posting TikToks. And they post TikToks of their gluttony, of their mukbangs, right? Then once their humongous size gets in the way of their everyday life, they in the media, of course, they complain about the infrastructure that cannot physically handle them. You see, you know, people being mad about planes, right? The plane, they need to get two plane seats, and the planes can't hold them, and planes are starting to charge people because they're so big, right? And planes have gotten heavier and heavier. And you have other things like that are actually kind of good that come out of it, where you have bigger people that have broken industrial chairs in barbershops, and then they've started businesses off of that. So that is a good thing, starting businesses, helping people out. But why not just lose the weight? If you guys see what I'm saying, it's good to, be inclusive to a community. But then again, also, it'd be very simple fix just to lose the weight. And then after they're done complaining about the infrastructure that cannot physically support them, industrial grade shit that can't hold them, then they start talking about social issues. When I think of social issues, I think of the different struggles of the races in the world, right? I think about the struggles of the African American in the early days of America. I think about the Native Americans, right? I think about, all these different groups, right? I think about, a lot of people. I think about actually some of the white people that were in the Barbary slave trade. I think about, the people in Africa that were colonized by the Europeans. I think of, communism and that suppression. I think of fascism and that stuff. And I think about the suppression of the Jews and the suppression of the Slavs, right? And all those people that have been harmed throughout history. And, the Asians, right, being colonized, and then also, Japanese rape of Nanjing, stuff like that, and all that horrible stuff. But these people call forward their social issues about being fat, which, unlike all of those things I named, they can change. You can change being fat. You can change your body. And it is ultimately your choice, right? You can lose the weight, right? If you very much choose to. And people say, yeah, it's too hard to buy that stuff. No, it really isn't. You can buy stuff it actually might be cheaper. You can buy potatoes. You can buy chicken. You can buy all that stuff instead of going to McDonald's or going somewhere else. And I'm not really talking about anyone that has like an actual disability where like they have some sort of, gut problems and stuff like that. But the large portion of people don't have that, and it's really really sad to see society become so obese. And the social issues they talk about getting being looked at, being, you know, treated differently and stuff like that. Well, a lot of time that happens because people are just looking in your direction, because it is not normal for someone to be such an immense size. It's not, when someone comes into a store, and they can't fit through the door, right? That's sad. And another thing is when they're on their little cart, right, that's going around the store, and the shit's squeaking, you start to feel bad for the cart. And then when they start walking, which is actually good exercise and stuff like that for them, which is great, you can't help but feel bad for the shoes, right? And it all comes back to, just society, right? We have an immense amount of food, especially in America and Europe, and places where there's not that much food. You don't really see people getting that fat. You don't see people getting fat in, the middle of nowhere, Siberia. You don't see people getting fat in North Korea. You don't see many people getting, even though it is rising. You don't see, and different cultural things, right? Japan, there's not as many fat people, even though it's rising. South Korea, or I don't know about South Korea, maybe, I don't know. But I'm just saying, you guys get my point, right? And then, I mean, in the end, right? It's not nice to make someone feel bad about their weight or how they look, mainly attributing to fat and stuff. But at a certain point, you're actually helping them, right? Like, some people are at such a size where they can't even live, and they have a food addiction. And sometimes, your comment, or you looking at it may change the point, right? And the thing that really sucks about, I've never struggled with this, as I've always played sports, I've always eaten right. The thing that I've seen that really sucks is, it's also, even though it's being uplifted by social media and it's being uplifted by society, on the person to person level, it isn't. Extremely obese people or obese people are not getting as much game, right? They're not, having as much interaction with people, right? Which is, can lead to depression. When they get looked at all day, it also can lead to depression. Is it everyone else's fault? No, sometimes you can't stop, and you can't stop looking at someone that is extremely obese. And it really sucks that, our society's like that. But that's how it goes when you have so much food and kind of a population that is mostly very food driven, just genetically have very high food drive, mentally, inclined to be eating a lot of food. Just that's how we're hardwired. And it really sucks to see all that stuff. But yeah, uplifting, those people is very, very good, and it can lead to weight loss. But then it can also, right now, it can also lead to a lot more people becoming fat, and staying unhealthy. And you've seen a lot of these very, very obese influencers, I guess you can say, die of actually their problems that they have from that. You have extremely obese people like the I Can't Put Down the Cup guy, David Blunts. He's extremely obese, and you can just see his struggle, right? He did one of his things on a couch. He had oxygen there. He's been in the hospital multiple times, and it sucks a lot. You barely ever see him walk. In every one of his videos, he's usually sitting down or something like that. When he's singing, he's sitting down, all that stuff. Very, very sad, but it's just kind of where society's at. And the problem is that, fat people back in the day weren't extremely obese, but they also, added a lot to society. They may have been fat, but they did a lot. They didn't kind of bitch about their situation 24/7. I think they understood a lot of why they were fat. I feel like, and a lot of the time, they were very, very funny. They were very, very nice, kind people. But nowadays, a lot of fat people, on the internet, I'm saying, all of this is in the gaze of the internet. They seem to be very, very kind of mean and understanding of people's situation. They also seem to not really know how business works in a lot of situations. They don't really, they're not very supportive of people that want to lose weight and want to, be healthier. and they're also they're very supportive of people that gain weight, which makes the community, makes a lot more people stay fat, and it's very, very sad. Um, a lot of time people should be uplifted. Marginal, the margins of society should be uplifted. However, there comes a point when there's a part of the margin of society where there are actual serious health risks and serious problems with that margin, health wise. It comes to be a part where you should support them, but in supporting them in losing weight, in becoming healthier and eating healthier, than the opposite, which is gaining weight and stuff like that. And the problem is it's a cycle with these people where, a lot of them are binge eaters. A lot of them suffer from depression, and being fat may cause more of that, because you have to, pay more for hospital bills, or you have to get certain accommodations for your lifestyle, or people are looking at you, or you just feel bad in general. You don't feel good, like your body, you physically don't feel good. And that can really go into depression and stuff like that, which may make you eat more, binge eating more, and it's very, very sad. I hope we kind of can fix this, um, and make America healthy again. I really don't think that should involve taking away vaccines and things that actually help people. I think it should involve more programs to help people lose weight, um, and people being healthier in what they eat, and people having a lot more food knowledge and stuff like that, and just people being more aware and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope I didn't really offend anyone in this video. I know the title's a little crazy, but yeah. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. I'm usually making game content, but that hasn't really worked out as much recently. So we'll see how this does, and if it works, we'll make some more videos. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I actually wrote down a script for this video, which is very, very good, and then I kind of winged it towards the end, but that's how I planned it out. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. Thank you guys all for watching. See you guys later. Good day to you, good night to me, and I'll see all of you guys later.